Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I know it's been a little bit since I posted. I apologize for that. Life has just been busy, but the busy is going to bring some really new cool content coming really soon. So there's a couple quick things I want to talk about before we get started on today's video. First off, this is our 100th video on Werner Garage, which I would have never imagined I would have made 100 videos, so that's pretty cool and I'm excited about that. The second thing is we're going to actually change the name of the channel. We're actually changing the name of the channel from Werner Garage to Adventure Werner. One of the main reasons for the name change is our content is just not limited to the garage. We want to take you with us when we go out on our different adventures. Now, for today's video, we're going to be tackling quite a few things. We are getting ready to put our McGregor sailboat on the water. We got a few odds and ends that we need to wrap up and get taken care of. And hopefully within the next video or two, we're actually going to be putting her on the water, which I'm really excited about. So let's get to it. So one of the things I wanted to get taken care of was the tiller was pretty much a mess. So I decided to sand it completely down and also do a little bit of repairs to it. It had some holes that needed to be plugged with some resin, and I wanted to make sure everything looked really nice and I wasn't going to get any splinters on my hand. With the tiller completely sanded down, I started by taping off the end that actually mounts to the rudder post. These areas were kind of broken and worn out, so I'm going to go through and fill them with a fiberglass resin and hardener, so that way it's going to be nice and solid and we can drill fresh new holes. With all the repairs done, I went ahead and coated the tiller in a fiberglass resin. You could also use a varnish or other suitable material. This is what I had lying around, so I decided to give it a try. All right, so while I am literally waiting for paint to dry to get some of the other projects I'm working on done, I kind of had a thought, even though this is something that's a long way away. I was like, you know what? I want to make sure the sails are not getting messed up. Like, let's clean them and read online how to properly fold them up and store them so that when the boat is ready, we don't have another mess on our hands. So what I chose to do after doing a lot of research, because there was some like mildew and there's some stains. There are a few rust stains, which I'm going to have to probably buy a certain product for to be able to fix the rust stains. There's not a lot, just a few little ones, mainly on the main. But I decided to take the sails and in a bathtub, soak them in hot water with Oxiclean. From what I've read, it's probably the best way. It's not harsh. It won't ruin the threads. Some people do chlorine and soak them in a pool. I thought about that, but then they said the threads start to disintegrate. I just didn't want to risk it. So the Oxiclean across the board seems to be the way to go. So I've already let it sit overnight in the Oxiclean, and then I've come out in the morning and I have washed off the sails, and here's what we're looking at. Okay, so here's the jib, soaked all night in the Oxiclean. I did a really good job of killing a lot of the mildew. There's one little tiny little rust spot, which I'll get a different product to clean for that. I had it dried off and it looked really nice, but I came back to it because on my sails, there is some leather, it looks like leather, stitched behind the clips that go on the front stay and also in that corner. And I noticed the Oxiclean, I started reading, you're not supposed to soak leather in Oxiclean. So I went back and scrubbed it off with a detergent and washed it again. But it looked really good. We'll let it dry out again and I can show you. But overall, took pretty much all the mildew stuff out. Again, once it dries, I think you'll get a better look at it. So in the process of cleaning our sails, I did find we have a very small tear. So we are going to use some of this Dacron tape. And I'm going to show you how to use this. I talked to a sail maker and they gave me a pretty good explanation on the proper way to prepare a little tear like this. I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. Okay, so I just cut out my Dacron patches. Now notice they're different sizes and they don't line up completely, and that's what you want. So we're going to do one on one side and one on the other. You don't want them to be like this. You want them to be offset a little bit. That'll prevent potential stress. You also want to cut rounded corners like I've done. So we're going to clean both sides of this with an isopropyl alcohol. We'll put one side on, flip it over and do the other, and make sure again that the seams do not line up like that. We want them to be offset like this, so that way the repair doesn't get a weak spot and the sail tears in those areas. All right, there we go. You can see the silhouette on the backside to make sure we didn't overlap those corners. We stretched it nice and tight. My daughter Addison helped out. And I did let the alcohol dry a little bit, but we have a good solid patch, so we should be good to go. All right, the next thing we're gonna do to our sail now that we've taken care of our patch is we're gonna release the bolt rope. And the reason we're gonna do this is our sail is equipped with sail slugs, which is great. So the bolt rope used to slide in the track of the mast, which is this rope here. Now, even though we do have an aftermarket sail, this UK sailmaker sail, which is not original, it still has the bolt rope, so it was probably intended to be able to work with the factory Mac setup. So the bolt rope is really simple. It is this stitch right here that's running all the way down through the rope. So we're just gonna go through and we're gonna trim this out with some scissors or a little X-Acto and pull the material through. Now we don't wanna touch any other stitching, only this stitching that goes down the center of this rope. You can see the shape of the rope there. So once this is all broken up or taken out, we might have to break up the end, they say. We'll see what happens. But this rope should now slide in this pocket. So up here it can slide freely, but down here it's secured. And we want to get rid of this because it affects the shape of the sail. So we want to do it here. And then we also want to do it down here. I believe I need to double check. Let me look back onto that. Oh, it looks like it's already been done. So someone already did it right here. So we're doing it right here. All right, so another odd and end that I kind of wanted to take care of before we do our maiden launch is I wanted to make a mast support. So I just got some redwood left over from my bunks that I made for the trailer, drilled some holes, put a strap through it, and it actually bolts right through. I'm gonna get a quick release pin for this so I don't have to use any tools. But this just stabilizes the mast. Some people just strap it down to put a lot of tension on it. I don't like the idea of that. So this is gonna make sure it's not going anywhere when we're driving down the road and not bouncing. So one last project I wanted to wrap up in this video was actually addressing the hitch that's on the front of the trailer. The old hitch was really corroded on the inside, so it was preventing the surge brakes from working correctly. In addition to that, I couldn't really get the latch to latch on correctly once you have it on the ball on the truck. And that's just unsafe, and I was really having to work to get it to latch properly, and I just didn't feel good about it. So what you're going to see here is I went ahead and just cut off the old surge brake hitch right off the trailer. I just used an angle grinder to do this. I didn't have a chance to film it, and it was a mess. But I took that off, And then I went ahead and just ordered off of Amazon a brand new, I think it's a Titan brand, which is just a bolt-on design. So it makes it a lot easier. I had some really heavy duty, I think it's like a grade 8 bolt, and you basically bolt it on there, and that's going to kind of resolve the trailer hitch issues. All right, we have gotten the hitch off. We have ground down all the old welds, so we have a nice clean piece to work with. So we've got our new, we got a new hitch that's gonna go on. This is gonna be a bolt through design, which would be cool. So I got some drill bits and everything, and we're gonna drill through and slap on a new surge brake protector. Unfortunately, broke off our line here, but probably need to run new lines anyway. The boat weighs such a small amount that pulling it with our Gladiator with the max tow is like a non-issue. So we don't have to have the surge brakes hooked up to get it on the water, but it is something I want to complete and just have the trailer completely functioning with all of our new brakes. It's just nice to have them. But again, it's such a lightweight boat, it's really not an issue, but we'll get that sorted. And there we have it. Pretty happy. So there's our old guy. And here is our new Titan version. So I've got my grade 8 bolts going through it, 1/2-inch bolts. I got the trailer lock set up, and we're good to go. So no more getting stuck trying to get the hitch and the ball separated. That'll all be good to go. And now we have a working actuator. So now I'm gonna run all new lines to our surge brakes, and we'll have proper surge brakes all set up, which is awesome. All right, guys, that's pretty much gonna wrap up this video. The sales came out really, really good. The Oxiclean is definitely a winner. Releasing the bolt rope also went really, really well. I'm excited to see how that helps out with the shape of the sail. And also it should keep the boom up higher. That's one of the problems, is when that bolt rope shrinks, the boom sits really down into the cockpit. We want to avoid that. So I think we've got that all sorted out. Now, I'm not sure if we're gonna actually be able to get the boat on the water in the next video. We might have to do some additional fun projects right before that, depending on conditions, because we are gonna be doing our testing out in the Pacific Ocean, and I wanna make sure the conditions are definitely ideal for that first venture. As always, I wanna thank everyone who has subscribed to our channel, who likes the videos or posts any comments. We really appreciate that. And we're gonna see you in the next video.